Welcome, everyone. Imagine this. You're standing in front of the most recognized painted image on the planet Earth. Now, I'm going to guess your first two thoughts. Wow, it is smaller than I expected, and it's hard to see the art through all the glass and all the phones. You're right. Because this painting is so famous, it's almost impossible to actually see it. So, for the next few minutes, let's strip away the hype and look at the actual physics and the story behind what is here. First, let's establish who she is. If you were expecting a queen or a duchess, prepare for a surprise. She was Lisa Gherardini, the wife of a relatively wealthy Florentine silk merchant named Francesco del Giocondo. This was commissioned to celebrate a new home or a new child, a simple family photo intended for a dining room wall. And her name? Mona Lisa is not actually her first name. Mona is a contraction of the Italian Madonna, which simply means my lady. You are looking at Lady Lisa. In Italian, she's called La Gioconda, the wife of Giocondo, but also playfully, the happy one. The real secret to this painting lies in the mind of the man who created it. Leonardo da Vinci didn't consider himself a painter. He was an engineer, an anatomist, a geologist, and a botanist. He viewed this portrait not as a commission, but as his ultimate scientific proof, the living summation of everything he had learned about the physical world. This is why he never delivered it. He kept it with him for the last 16 years of his life, tinkering. This wasn't a static portrait, it was his living laboratory. He was obsessed with how reality appears to the eye. Look closely at her face. Can you find a sharp, defining line on her nose or jaw? You can't. Leonardo banned outlines. He understood that in reality, light and shadows don't meet abruptly, they transition gradually. He used a technique called sfumato, Italian for vanished up in smoke. He applied dozens of layers of translucent oil glaze, each thinner than a human hair, waiting months for each one to dry. This wasn't just artistic skill, this was an attempt to engineer life by mimicking the physics of light penetration. How light hits your skin, sinks in slightly, and scatters underneath. This is what makes her seem to have actual blood and warmth beneath her skin. But Leonardo's genius goes deeper than just light. He was deeply interested in optics, how the eye perceives reality. He knew the human eye does not see everything in perfect focus. Think about how doctors test your vision. They understand that our clarity is limited. Leonardo used paint to manipulate your vision. When you focus on her eyes, your peripheral vision blurs her mouth. When you focus on her mouth, your eye muscles shift and your peripheral vision blurs her eyes. He strategically blurred the corners of the mouth and the eyes, the two places we read emotion. By making those areas ambiguous through sfumato, he made her changing expression a feature of your own vision. You are constantly searching for the focus, and she constantly denies it. Ironically, this scientific masterwork only became a global superstar because of a simple act of crime. For 400 years, she was just a good painting in the Louvre. She became famous in 1911 when an Italian handyman named Vincenzo Peruggia simply lifted the wooden panel off the wall and walked out the door. It became the world's first viral media event. People lined up outside the Louvre just to stare at the empty space where she used to hang. When she was returned 2 years later, she was no longer just a painting, she was a celebrity forged by scandal. And that brings us back to you, standing here today. Why are we still obsessed? Because she is the ultimate challenge to our modern demand for clarity. We live in a world of high-definition certainty, but the Mona Lisa is analog. She is a psychological mirror. Leonardo blurred those key emotional zones, so your brain has to fill in the data. If you are feeling hopeful, she seems serene. If you're feeling a bit cynical, her smile looks mocking. She reflects you back at yourself. In a way, she is the world's first piece of interactive art, designed by an engineer to keep changing based on the person standing in front of her. Take a moment, look her in the eye, and see which version of Lady Lisa looks back at you today. Would you like to ask questions or move to the next stop?
What's the next stop?
Great question. Next stop, the coronation of Napoleon, Jacques-Louis David. Location details, Salle 702, Salle d'Aru, Neoclassicism. Collection ID 3699. Directions from the Mona Lisa in Dinan, Salle 711 or nearby. Exit the Mona Lisa room and follow the Dinan corridor straight ahead toward the central galleries. When you reach the wide intersection near the Dinan stairs escalators, continue toward the left-hand side to enter the Salle d'Aru area. Enter Salle Daru and proceed to Salle 702. The coronation of Napoleon is housed there. If you see a label for INV 3699, you're in the right space. Let me know when you arrive at Salle 702, and we'll start the next stop.